Constitution and ordinance, we have two alternates that we are considering. I'm requesting that we pull those two names that we're considering for further discussion in our next committee meeting.
Okay. The two alternates, correct?
Yes, it's CLLR 2019 091902 and CLLR 2019 01903.
Okay. Thank you, sir. So at this time, review and approve of the agenda. No other corrections?
Motion to approve with the aforementioned changes.
Second.
Moved in second. All in favor, let it know by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carried. This time we will review and approve of the August Tribal Council minutes and actions that were taken.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Moved in second. All in favor, let it know by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Next was the presentation from Chairman Harvey Godwin on our status as far as federal recognition. He was in D.C. from Monday to this afternoon, got a late flight coming out, so he will not be able to attend, but he will have all that data and the presentation to present to the council at a later date. This time we'll go to our community comments, and again I ask, you have 3 minutes. We ask that you refrain from using names. And when you come, give your name and what district you're from and the topic that you'll be speaking on. So at this time, we have Mr. Daniel Scott. Is that correct? Oh, David. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Mr. David. I'm sorry. You got that nice handwriting.
Good afternoon. I'm David Scott from District 10, and I'm going to be talking to you all about the second Lumbee Genealogy Symposium hosted by the Museum of the Southeast American Indian. It's great to see you all. Like I said, I'm David Scott, Museum Specialist for the Museum of the Southeast American Indian. On behalf of the Museum of the Southeast American Indian, we are excited to announce that we'll be hosting the second annual Lumbee Genealogy Symposium, revealing the matriarch, uncovering the legacy of Lumbee women. This will be taking place Thursday, October 24th, and Friday, October 25th, 2019. This two-day symposium will center around the question, what is the legacy of women in Lumbee society? We are also proud to announce that the cast from the Lumbee's Women of the Dark Water will join us to talk about their runaway hit play and their power shared historical experiences. This symposium will be held in the University Center Annex on the campus of UNC Pembroke from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on both days. Registration is $35. For 65 years or older, it is $15. Lunch is provided and also breakfast refreshments. You can register through Givens Performance Arts Center on the campus of UNC Pembroke, online, by phone, or by the box office. Any questions, please contact us at the Museum of the Southeast American Indian at 910-521-6282. We are located on the first floor of Old Main at UNCP. Please come by and see us. We're open Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Free admission. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Appreciate that. I hope I get you. Keenan Locklear, did I say that right? Thank you. Don't like to mispronounce it.
Good evening. Thanks for letting us come. I'm Keenan Locklear. I'm a coach and mentor of the Roboco bots from Early College High School on the campus of RCC. We've been in existence for about 3 years. but we hadn't had a chance to introduce ourselves. So this is some of our students. We got about 50 students on board right now. We started 3 years ago. We have won competitions every year. Last year, we made it all the way to the state finals and lost out right at the end. So we're hoping that with some help and support, we're going to be at Pembroke and some other competitions. We don't know the dates yet. They're supposed to release that this week, but I'll get that information back. We have competed at Pembroke for 2 years, and because at Pembroke, we have brought, with UNC Pembroke, we have brought in like 35 teams from around the state, including South Carolina and Virginia. So we've had about 35 teams each time, about 3,000 people. Some teams are very, very big, like East Carolina. When they come in from Greenville, we call them a 50 pizza team. So when they go buy pizzas, and believe it or not, robots are fun or run on pizzas. When they go, they buy 50 pizzas each time. That's helping the economy. I just wanted you to know about us because we're still trying to get a word out and a message out.
Thank you, sir.
But what do you do? What does your group do? Can you explain what you do?
Yes, ma'am, I can. It is an international competition. And what happens is in January, they'll drop the new game out, and it'll be broadcasted worldwide. And we will have 6 weeks to take a part of kit or a kit of parts, just a little box of parts. And we got 6 weeks to take and analyze the game, and we're going to build program, and get it ready for competition. You're in competition with teams and against teams going after banners. Like I say, 3 years ago we won our very first competition in Greensboro as a brand new rookie team. We started this. I started this team because of my association, being on the board of the North Carolina Board of Science, Technology, and Innovation. I met the president of First North Carolina. I wrote a couple of grants to NASA and to Duke Energy, and we got it started. But now I need local support. And but it's not just about the building the robots. They learn about business, leadership skills, and others that they can other technology skills that they can take forward. We got students being recruited at UNCP
Still
and
not
other
clear.
stations.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'm sorry,
Well,
I'm
no, you're all
teaching.
right. Thank you. Appreciate the
Any
work you're
other
doing.
questions?
Appreciate the work you're doing. Telling you. At this time, we would recognize Mr. Ronald Oxendine. Did I say that right, Ronald?
I don't have any planned speech or preparation. Good evening, folks. It comes before us again an opportunity for us to come as a prospect community to come and to just to represent our community. You've heard the noise. It's been really loud. You've heard the signs. You've heard the opportunity that folks have had to speak out regarding the housing situation that's coming up. We come before you again and we ask you to really search your hearts to examine what the people of Prospect want. Our community is a diverse community, but at the same time, it's a community that has stuck together and we've worked together. We've built, we've prospered, we've educated, and I think I was reading something from Mr. Adolph Dahl not too long ago that it was one of the cradles of the Indian community, Indian prosperity. We don't want to see that change, and I know you don't want to either. But at the same time, when we begin to look at what we're proposing or what's being proposed at the prospect community, you're going to change the dynamics of our community. And we don't want that to happen. We're asking you to really consider again our request to not build and put it in another district, another location, or even reconsider what the purposes that are going to be designed for. I believe that if you go back all the way to the original intent We have a resolution that will be coming before you, and it'll show you that it was not designed for housing. And so if that intent has changed, then why now has this committee decided to do something different? That's a big question. And we would really like more response and more of our input put into this situation so that we have a better understanding. Now, I also brought my brother who was with us, who was on the tribal council with you guys, and he sat with you. And I think his intent was, and his understanding was, is that there was a housing program, but it was never designated as a low income or housing program. So I was like to succeed and give him a couple of minutes or a minute. I can't do that. Well, maybe
Man,
someone
no
else.
disrespect to you, Ron. I mean, we have the rules we go by, sign up for community
Okay,
comments, and he didn't sign.
very good.
Okay.
I appreciate that. Well, you've heard me loud and clear. I think I stand, and there's a lot of people here who have also voiced their opinion and allowed this to be heard. Thank you very much, Speaker. Appreciate it.
At this time, Mr. Kent Chavis.
Good evening. I, like Mr. Oxendine, appreciate the opportunity to look you eye to eye and express to you my concern to not have this housing built in our community. I just want to touch on 8 things briefly. Good governance. Good governance is what we live by, or supposed to live by, what we're asked to live by, to abide by the law. And that's what I try to do, and I'm sure that's what you try to do. There's 8 keys to good governance. The rule of law. Good governance requires fair legal frameworks that are enforced by an impartial regulatory body. Impartial being the key word. For the full protection of stakeholders. Transparency. Now, transparency means that the information that is going to the stakeholders should be provided in an easily and understandable form through media or other outlets, that it should be freely available and directly accessible to those who will be affected by the governance policies and practices, as well as the outcomes resulting thereof, the practices that are being practiced. And any decision taken in their enforcement are in compliance. Another key word, in compliance. Ronald talked about something that will be shared with you later. And established rules and regulations. Responsiveness. Good governance requires that organizations and their processes are designed to serve the best interest of stakeholders within a reasonable time frame. Consensus-oriented. Good governance requires consultation to understand the different interests of stakeholders in order to reach a broad consensus of what is in the best interest of that entire body and how this can be achieved in sustainable and prudent manners. The organization of equity and inclusiveness provides the opportunity for its stakeholders to maintain and enhance and generally improve their well-being. The most compelling message regarding the reason for existence and their value to society. I can't emphasize that one enough. The well-being of a community. Prospect District 5 Oxendine seems to be doing well, according to the census. Very well. We're stakeholders. We're owners. We're homeowners. Number 6, effectiveness and efficiency. Good governance means that the processes implemented by the organization to produce favorable results meet the needs of the stakeholders while making the best use of resources, both human, technological, financial, natural.
Mr. Chavis.
Here's
3 minutes.
3 minutes. Environmental.
It's
So,
up.
in closing, I want those of you from Prospect that oppose this, if you're here tonight, I just want you to stand to your feet so all these council members can see you. Would you do that for me, please? Would you just stand? Thank you.
Thank you. Jordan Dees, did I say that right?
Thank you, Council. My name is Jordan Dees. I'm from District 5, and I should not have to remind you why you are here, but I will. And that is because you were elected by the people, not tribal administration, by the people of the Lumbee tribe. Please hear the people of District 5 tonight, just like they are the people from your district. Hear what they are saying. They are saying no. They are saying no to this project in District 5. If another district would love to accept it, then yes. But District 5 is politely refusing. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Teresa, Brian, did I say that right? Teresa? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You're fine. That it's pronounced all kind of ways, believe me. I'm Teresa Bryant. I've been up many times. It looks like I'm the only female that speaks. Um, I know most of the council members know me, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys. And Jordan spoken, each and every one of you guys were elected by people. Imagine if this was at your back door, and this was going to be put at your back door. How would you like that? How would you like to walk out your back door and see those houses going up at your back door? Individuals walking up and down your street at night. Sir, can I borrow sugar tonight? Can I borrow water tonight? Can I get a soda tonight? How would you feel? Imagine how each and every one of us is going to feel, not knowing who we're going to walk out and meet at 5 a.m. in the morning when we had to get up and go to work. We had a friend. I mean, I work in Lumberton, but the guy was killed in Lumberton. And most of you guys know it, Roderick Brewer, he was killed. The neighbor walked out and saw the back door kicked in at 5 a.m. Now, how would you guys like to walk out at 5 a.m. in the morning and see your neighbor's door kicked in, not knowing who kicked that door in and who went in and killed your neighbor? I'm sorry, we don't want that in our neighborhood. We hadn't experienced it. How would you guys like to experience something like that? We don't want these houses. And we've asked and asked and asked. And like Jordan said, you guys were voted in. You had to run again. You have to run again. And we appreciate it. If you take to heart, just think how we feel. Consider our feelings on this tonight. Please, we're asking. We have literally begged, and we're asking tonight. Take our thoughts into consideration. Take our parents. Take my parents. My parents are in their 70s and 80s. Take their hearts into consideration tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Miss Ava Locklear.
Good
Go ahead,
evening,
Miss Ava.
thank you. Yes, I am Ava Locklear, and going back on what Teresa says, I am the person in the yard with the houses. I'm the one, they're knocking on the doors. They want to borrow this, they want to borrow that. Walking up and down the road all time of night. When I go on my back deck, I'm going to be looking into somebody else's back door if these houses go up. And I know all you guys are sitting here saying, well, that's the back. Everybody says it's their back door, the backyard. Well, literally it is mine. When I go to my pear tree, I'm standing on the tribe's land and my land. These houses run right up to my back door. The last 2 nights I've been up and down all night. I get up at 4:30 every morning. But the transitional house, they've been having a rap session for 2 nights, and they're on the road with their van doors open and they're rapping all night long. Just like everybody else, except for the ones that's retired, and you guys, you deserve a good night's sleep, and so do we. So I'm just asking that you guys reconsider what you're thinking about putting in my backyard. I mean, I don't mind. I do charity bike runs for families all the time. I don't mind helping anyone, but I get tired of people coming to my back door wanting to borrow. If I have to get up at 4:30 and go to work, they need to get up at 4:30 and go to work. They need to start sleeping. I've already had enough of issues with the transitional house and 8 to 12 more houses being put in my backyard. It's unreal. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mr. Speaker. What do you have to say? I'm recognizing that Councilwoman Sharon Hunt is here at 6:59.
Recognize Ms. Sharon Hunt. Mr. Terry Locklear.
Thank you, council members, for allowing me to come here tonight. I want to go ahead and say up front, once again, that I'm opposed to this project, any housing, actually, for several reasons. Number one, rationale. Someone from the administration has already mentioned, they said something about the amount of work that went into this project, and I appreciate the amount of work that's went into it, and I'm sure that, it was quite a bit. Excuse me. The houses, they look really nice. They look good. But once again, from our perspective, I don't think it's anything to do with the houses or aesthetics and how this is going to look. We're worried about the people that may end up in these. So I think that's our biggest worry. And when we talk about how much work that went into it this far, how much of that work was specific to this site, and how much of it, could be moved to another location, and how much would that be impacted? Would that really hinder what's already been done if it was just moved somewhere else? Um, you know, Brother Kent stood up. He asked the people that were against this to stand up, and you noticed that there was quite a few. And I was wondering if there was anybody here that was actually for this project. If they could stand up, somebody from District 5 that's not part of the council or part of the administration. If they could stand, that would be interesting to see if anybody was here. If anybody here is actually for it. I don't see anybody standing up. Okay. So when you really think about it, if you're supposed to be doing something for us, we're going to help the community. If we're going back to that rationale, I'm just not sure how this is helping. This is like really helping us. So I'm going to ask that you not impose this colonial mindset or this colonial mentality, the mentality of we know what's best for you. I'm asking you to not impose that on the Prospect community, and I appreciate your consideration.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Eddie Moore.
Thank you. I'm Eddie Moore. I live in District 5, closer to Wakulla. And I'm proud to be Lumbee. Just a show of hands of how many people are proud to be Lumbee. And you know why I'm proud? Because against all odds, our people have not just survived, but thrived. Against all odds. And part of the reason for that is because our people are strong enough to stand up against power. Just a couple instances of standing up against power. What did Henry Berry Lowry do? Did he not stand up against power? What about Hayes Pond? Was that not the Lumbee people standing up against powerful forces? Folks, I'm not going to rerun. You understand that the people at Prospect are not comfortable with this project. They don't want it. We don't want it. I don't understand why it is being pushed so hard. I guess some power is pushing that. We as individuals of that community, we don't have a lot of power. Of course, this tribe now has a lot of power. This tribal government has a lot of power. There are people that sit down with the governor, with senators, congressmen. That's powerful people. Do what should be done. Represent the people, not the power. Stand up like Lumbee has always stood up, with the people, not the powerful people. The people of this community have shared with you time and time again. This is not good for the community. We don't need this in the community. Please hear that voice. Because if you don't, and you decide to vote to go forward with this project, I'm telling you, it's a slippery slope. When the government decides to force stuff on the people, any government, any people, not this community, any community, maybe it's your community next. Why do that? Remember, your voice will be heard. Your vote will be heard. If you decide to force it, this community will hear that. Other communities will hear that. All of Lumbee territory will hear it. Also, some of those powerful people in HUD may hear about it. Some of the senators may hear, and the congressmen are here and say, our government's not standing with the people. They're against the people. This could be just the beginning of a crack that could widen. We don't need that. What is the advantage of doing this and forcing it on the people? When you get ready to vote, I want you to remember one thing. Who am I? What am I doing? Am I a puppet for power, or am I a champion for the people?
Mr. Bosco Locklear.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I got 3 points I would like to address. First point is we shouldn't be here discussing this. There's no reason for us to discuss it. Again, I'm going to remind each and every one of you that this council in April 16, 2009 passed a resolution entitled District 5 Land Purchase. Now, all of you was not on here. 3 of you was on here, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Larry Chavis, Ms. Sharon Hunt, and my friend Miss Louise Mitchell back here was on here at the time. She was the secretary. I'm going to read the last therefore. It says, therefore, be it resolved, the Tribal Council of the Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina does support and agree to allow tribal administration to begin the process of purchasing 1 tract of land for the establishment of a community center and Boys and Girls Club in District 5, pending HUD approval. Now, I asked you, did anyone hear anything in that therefore about housing? And the answer is no. Why? There was never no intent to put a subdivision in that property, on that property. Now, if the administration wants to do something great for the community, to reward the community for supporting this tribe, then there's some things we need. We have roughly 52 slots there at the Boys and Girls Club. This Boys and Girls Club behind the Turtle has around 150 slots. Now, administration wants to help District 5, then take some of these funds and increase the slots. I'm persuaded and convinced that youth that attend the Boys and Girls Club will make very good adults, be very productive. So if you increase our slots, then what are you doing? You're not only going to help the tribe, you're going to help the whole Robeson County because you're going to have better and more productive adults. Now, thirdly, I want to say this. why the whole Dreamcatcher project makes absolutely no sense. Former Chairman Jimmy Goins, he built 50 rental units behind this turtle and used absolutely zero of NAHASDA funds, not one dime. Chairman Paul Brooks
Mr. Bosco,
built 50.
your time's up.
I'm leaving. Built 50, and he used $2 million. This administration wants to build 50 and use $17 million. Folks, don't take a genius to figure that out.
Miss Amber Woods?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Whew. We got a packed house tonight, and I'm going to stand up with Prosperity tonight. If they don't want that, don't take that energy over there and put those houses over there. If y'all want to do something, like I said before, go to the pond and fix the pond up. All right. Good evening, LNTP committee members. My name is Amber Woods. I reside in Maxim, that's in District 12. As many of you may know, this is not my first rodeo at the Turtle. I've come down here very upset and disappointed in our tribal council. You guys must love seeing my beautiful face. I wouldn't be standing here right now if only the committee members would have taken preventative measures last year to protect the citizens of the community. I will never understand why we elect administration to be the voice in our community when you don't listen to the concerns we bring before you. Do you not understand how you get elected in office? It's through the people, by the people, so protect our people. I seriously wonder, does the chairman have you on his payroll, or what special privileges you and your cousin received? I live right by Hayes Pond, and every afternoon I would see a small black SUV with a Lumbee logo on the side. Haven't seen him in months. I know you have him on payroll. So did he fail to report the problems at the pond? So that means someone failed their responsibility to check behind security. Coming to you as a concerned citizen, I will not feel my responsibility to check behind this committee. Always remember our voice will be heard. I hear a lot of complaints and concerns throughout different communities. You do know that there are other communities outside of Pembroke that have hopes and dreams. I challenge each district leader to fight for a Boys and Girls Club in their community. I challenge each district leader to get out and check on the elderly and see if they need assistance. I challenge each district leader to get out and speak to the people in your districts. But I would like to challenge my two district leaders to help restore Hayes Pond. I don't have anything personal against the chairman, but what is right, and what's wrong is wrong. Our voices will be heard, and I am the voice. Thank you.
Miss Emma? Okay.
Can't say my last name. I've never been able to pronounce it my whole life. It's
Okay,
Emma
thank you.
Andrade.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I didn't have nothing written today, but as I speak, I'd like for you guys to all look at the picture on my shirt. Um, I'm the daughter of Ellen Gale Lowry, some of you may know, and my dad was Ronald Andrade. And I've lived in that out of Pembroke my whole life since I was 12 years old. I'm 29. My whole life I've always felt like the Lumbee tribe has always looked out for themselves and their people and the people that works for them. Is what I felt. Um, and as somebody, I hate to sit here and tell you guys what your job is because that's not my place. I love to be Lumbee. I'm proud to be Lumbee. I have a tattoo on my right hand. But on September the 10th, I lost my best friend, and I lost two other friends along that. And my biggest question is, how were they ever able to make it that far down that road without a warning sign, without a road out ahead sign or a blockage keeping them from going that far? I'm also backing Prospect. If they don't want that community housing, don't give it to them. That money can be spent elsewhere. That pond looks horrible, and that road has been out, by what I'm gathering, since Hurricane Matthew. and then Florence came and took the rest. And because of negligence, incompetence, a lack of care, um, the words can't even come to me right now, but it just seems like you just don't care. And I hate to say that as much as it hurts my heart to say that about my people, people that I'm proud to be part of. I feel like you guys took my best friend. I feel like you took 3 mothers. You took you took a lot. You took 15 years of friendship from me for incompetence. And maybe it wasn't you guys that sat there and made those decisions, but I feel as if the blood is on your guys' hands. And I hope when you leave here today, you research these people and you realize the hurt that you inflicted, the hurt that you caused. And I just had a conversation before I came here with a friend, and again, I'll say, I'm not here to tell you guys your jobs. You should know. You guys are all adults, and I'm not here to blame you, for, all of you, each individually, for what happened. But it, but in my friend Danielle Locklear and Anastasia and Tiffany Goins' name, I want it to be fixed. I want the road to be fixed because it could have been any one of your children going down that road, any one of y'all's family members going down that road, and they could have easily just went in. And yeah, that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Let me say we thank you for all your community comments. We thank you for the respect that you give, and we hope we're giving you respect back and knowing your deep concerns. At this time, we'd like to go into our committee reports. I'd like to recognize Dr. Reginald Oxendine, Chairman of the Constitution and Ordinance Committee.
Mr. Speaker, Constitution ordinance, we have two ordinances, two resolutions that we are presenting. And if you'll take a look at the election board member appointment for District 1, 2, and 12, and it's from CLLR 2019 0919-01, and the election board ordinance member appointment. I'll read the uh, third whereas Article X of the Constitution establishes an independent tribal elections board, and the method in which elections board seat shall be seated. Whereas the tribal council created an ordinance defining election board districts, and therefore be it resolved, the tribal council of the Lumbee tribe of North Carolina here does hereby appoint Ms. Lamari Louise Mitchell to the Tribal Elections Board to represent tribal districts 1, 2, and 12. You have, the council does have copies of, a copy of Ms. Louise's resume as well.
Again, coming from committee, this requires no second. Is there any question? Hearing none, seeing none. Madam Secretary, roll call vote.
Carvicus Barfield. Sharon Hunt. Janie McFarland.
Yes.
James B. Hunt.
Yes.
Ted Woodell.
Yes.
Wendy Moore Graham, yes. Jared Lowry.
Yes.
Larry Chavis.
Yes.
Douglas Locklear. Reginald Oxendine.
Yes.
Jan Lowry.
Yes.
Alvin Mercer. Corbin Eddings.
Yes.
Dewey McNeil.
Yes.
Marshall Locklear.
Yes.
Frank Cooper.
Yes.
Annie Taylor.
Yes.
Michael Chavis.
Yes.
Ricky Burnett.
Yes,
Terry Hunt.
Yes.
Unanimous, it carries.
unanimous. Congratulations, Miss Louise. I'm used to calling you Louise. Do we want to, you going to do the swearing in with the two or two? Okay. Hold up just a second. Doctor?
Mr. Speaker, we also have a resolution for administrative court appointment for districts 1 and 7. That comes from CLR 2019 091904. And starting with the second whereas Article 7, Section 1 of the Tribal Constitution delegates all legislative authority to the Tribal Council of Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina. And whereas tribal members or those seeking tribal membership are entitled to due process when adverse decisions are made with regarding to services and enrollment. And whereas the Tribal Council created an ordinance establishing an administrative court, and therefore be it resolved, Tribal Council of Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina does hereby appoint Miss Ima Jean Oxendine to the Administrative Court to represent the Tribal Council Districts 1 and 7.
Again, coming from committee, it requires no second. Is there any discussion, question? Hearing none, seeing none. Madam Secretary, roll call vote.
Carveckus Barfield. Sharon Hunt. Janie McFarland.
Yes.
James B. Hunt.
Yes.
Ted Woodell.
Yes.
Wendy Moore Graham, yes. Jared Lowry.
Yes.
Larry Chavis.
Yes.
Douglas Locklear. Reginald Oxendine.
Yes.
Jan Lowry. Alvin Mercer.
Yes.
Corbin Eddings.
Yes.
Dewey McNeil.
Yes.
Marshall Locklear. Frank Cooper.
Yes.
Annie Taylor.
Yes.
Michael Chavis.
Yes.
Ricky Burnett.
Yes,
Terry Hunt.
Yes.
Unanimous, it passes.
congratulations. We would like to ask those two if they would come forward and be sworn in at this time. I'm going to ask after they're sworn in that the representatives for those districts would go down and had a photo op.
You're going to affirm, ma'am? I'm Joshua Malcolm. I'm fortunate to serve as the Chief Justice of the Lumbee Tribe Supreme Court. It's an honor to swear both of you in. We appreciate your service to our tribe, and more importantly, your service to our people. If you would raise your right hand. I state your full name. Do solemnly affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina, that I will carry out faithfully and impartially the duties of my office to the best of my ability, that I will preserve for all time the Lumbee way of life and community, that I will promote educational, cultural, social, and economic well-being of the Lumbee tribe, and that I will strive to secure justice and freedom for the Lumbee people. Congratulations.
If we could get District 1, 2, 12, and 7. Our next item would acknowledge Miss Sharon Hunt, who's the chairman of our Finance Committee.
We have CLR 2019-0919-05 dated September 19th, 2019, and the title is Continuing Resolution. The latter part of it states, whereas the Lumbee Tribal Council has the power to enact legislation to appropriate funds for operation of the tribal government, and whereas the fiscal year of operation of the Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina is October 1 through September 30th, and whereas the annual tribal budget enacted by the Tribal Council will not be effective and binding until signed by the tribal speaker and posted for 30 calendar days, and therefore be it resolved, the Tribal Council of the Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina votes to approve this continuing resolution of the FY 2018-2019 budget with the following provisions. Number one, effective October 1, 2019, all expenditures incurred will be attributed to the FY 2019-20 budget when implemented. Number two, this resolution is effective October 1, 2019 through November 30th, 2019.
Again, coming from committee requires no second. Is there any question? Hearing none, seeing none. Madam Secretary, roll call vote.
Carvecas Barfield,
Yes.
Sharon Hunt,
Yes.
Janie McFarland,
Yes.
James B. Hunt,
Yes.
Ted Woodell,
Yes.
Wendy Moore, yes. Jared Lowry,
No.
Larry Chavis,
Yes.
Douglas Locklear, abstain. Reginald Oxendine,
Yes.
Jan Lowry,
Yes.
Alvin Mercer, Corbin Eddings,
Yes.
Dewey McNeil,
Yes.
Marshall Locklear,
Yes.
Frank Cooper,
Yes.
Annie Taylor, Michael Chavis,
Yes.
Ricky Burnett,
Yes.
Terry Hunt.
Yes.
The motion passes.
Motion passed. Thank you.
18 for, one abstention, and one no.
Thank you. At this time, Chair would recognize Ms. Annie Taylor, Chairman of the Housing Department.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name's Annie Taylor, I'm Chair of the Housing, but I'm going to present this to Miss Wendy Moore. This is her district, and I'm letting her handle this matter. Miss Wendy?
Okay, this has been an issue that we have been battling back and forth about for the last month since I came on tribal council. I just want to say to all my co-counsel, walk in my shoes and understand my people, and then you let your heart tell you what to do. Don't go any further than your heart, because we go amiss. But this is called the defunding of the District 5 Dreamcatcher Project Community. And I'm going to start with the third whereas. The Tribal Council has the fiduciary authority to approve, enact, or amend the annual fiscal budget. And whereas CLR 2009-0416-04 states that the Tribal Council of the Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina does support and agree to allow tribal administration to begin the process of purchasing one tract of land for the establishment of a community center and a Boys and Girls Club in District 5 pending HUD approval. And whereas the tribal membership of District 5, in their inherent right of self-determination, has expressed their opposition to the establishment of a Dreamcatcher Project community in District 5, and whereas the Tribal Council has the authority and responsibility to preserve and protect for all time the quality of the Lumbee way of life in District 5. Therefore, being it enacted by the Tribal Council of the Lumbee Tribe of North Carolina, the following ordinance shall be cited as the funding of District 5 Dreamcatcher Project Community. And therefore be it further enacted that any future attempts to establish a Dreamcatcher Project community or any other housing-based project in District 5 shall be prohibited without the express knowledge and consent of the tribal membership of District 5.
Again, coming from committee, requires no second. Any question?
Mr. Speaker, I have a comment to make. So first, I want to say thanks to everyone from District 5 for coming out. I love the fact that we have our people are engaged and active. I'll be on the council for soon 5 years, and I tell people it's very seldom that we have people come and speak their mind and express themselves on ideas, on proposed ordinances or resolutions or ideas or projects. We may have one person, we may have two or three, but you could say you're calling a meeting at 10:39. There's gonna be 60 people showing up from Prospect about this, and so I appreciate that. You know, my grandparents, my granddaddy used to always tell me about how he could never walk in through the front of a building. He walked, in the restaurants, he walked in through the back. And then we had governments that would not listen to our people. We had no voice. Nobody listened to those swamp people that lives in Robinson County. Nobody listened to us. Nobody listened to our great grandparents. Nobody listened. And so if we today have our own government fails to listen to our people, are we any better than those that oppressed us for hundreds of years? Are we any better than those who came from other countries who said that we know what's better for you? Let's take your land. We know what's better for you. Let's change your clothes. Let's change your language. Are we any better? Not now. I'm not. I know it's very hyperbolic, and I'm not saying that's what's happening here. But nobody listened to our ancestors. Now the descendants of our ancestors are asking us to listen to them. And I ask my fellow tribal council to listen. You may not vote the way they would like you to. Just listen. I ask you just keep your not just your mind open, but your heart open. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Madam Secretary, roll call.
Carvecas Barfield. Sharon Hunt.
Yes.
Janie McFarland.
Yes.
James B. Hunt.
Yes.
Ted Woodell.
Yes.
Wendy Moore, yes. Jared Lowry.
Yes.
Larry Chavis.
No.
Douglas Locklear. Reginald Oxendine.
Yes.
Jan Lowry.
Yes.
Alvin Mercer.
No.
Corbin Eddings.
No.
Dewey McNeil.
No.
Marshall Locklear.
Yes.
Frank Cooper.
No.
Annie Taylor.
Yes.
Michael Chavis.
Yes.
Ricky Burnett.
No.
Terry Hunt.
No.
I'll go back to Mr. Douglas Locklear. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 12 yes, the motion passes.
Motion passed. Thank you. This time, I would like to ask you to go to the calendar. Not
Never,
y'all.
never had this kind of response at a tribal council meeting, have we?
No. Is there any addition to September? Oh, I would say those that could, uh, tomorrow at 10 o'clock, Raleigh at the, no, it's not at the crime. Lord have mercy, it'll come to me.
Hold on,
Anyway, the North Carolina Commission of Indian Affairs will have their quarterly meeting, and there's a issue there that we'll be voting on also. So if you're able to come, we invite you to come and attend that meeting. Now, it'll be an all-day event from 10 to like 3, but you're more than welcome to come. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Ms. Wendy. It will be at the Wake Technical Community College Public Safety Education Campus. They're in Raleigh. Anything else for September? Nothing?
Mr. Speaker,
Ma'am?
I just want to remind District 2 is having their community meeting the 26th of September.
Okay. You also have the education, Mr. Frank. Just to reiterate to you guys, education on the 24th at 6:30, economic development 7:30, and economic development. And then District 2 with their community meeting,
Mr. Speaker, District 12's powwow, the 28th of September at Legion Park in Laurinburg.
12 o'clock.
Yeah, it's grand open 12 o'clock.
Mr. Dewey?
Dollar Tree has their powwow Friday and Saturday. Gospel singing on Friday night. Is that right, Miss Beck?
6. Gospel. Okay. Thank you. If I can draw your attention to the October calendar.
Mr. Speaker, the 3rd, I see there's a house and work session already planned.
Yes.
I didn't put it on there, but I keep it on there, but I also have a house meeting now.
Okay.
7:30.
Mr.
All right.
Speaker. Mr. Speaker.
Dr. Reginald?
October 7th, 7:30, Constitution and Ordinance.
Constitution ordinance is 7. Is the health still on, Miss Dr. Marshall? You got a health at 6:30 on the 7th, 6:30. Constitution ordinance at 7:30 on the 7th.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to set an ethics meeting on the 7th also, beginning after the Constitution and Ordinance.
Okay, 8:30 for ethics. Anything else?
I'll have to.
Ms. Sharon?
Finance, October 8th at 6:30.
Finance on the 8th at 6:30. Anything else? Oh, I'm sorry.
That will be a work session.
Okay. On the 8th, it will be a work session, finance work session.
When's the meeting?
Is there anything else?
Can I ask administration a question?
Sure.
Miss Tammy, I've been asking for the 2020 IHP. It's imperative that we get a copy of that IHP so that we'll be able to do the work session for finance and the budget, okay? Before the 8th, please. Thank you.
Miss Wendy, I think that's what the House and Work session was on the 3rd. They was going to do the IHP.
Well, there hasn't been enough dissemination of that information for anybody to know, so I just thought I'd make that request.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Let me say to the council also, and I failed to tell you, our TA report, tribal administrator, normally we get it in a printout. They were changing computers, they're down, the phones, and all that. But tomorrow, she will email you her report tomorrow. So look in your email, and you'll receive that from the tribal administrator. There's nothing else for the month of October. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Have a motion to adjourn. All in favor, stand. Mr. Corbin, would you dismiss us in prayer?
Let us pray. God and our Father, we thank you, dear Lord, for this day. We thank you, God, for time together tonight. We thank you, Heavenly Father, Lord, for giving us orderly fashion. We pray now, dear God, that what's been said, what's been done, Lord, has been pleasing in your sight. Continue, Lord, to watch over us as a government, dear Lord. And God, we just ask for mercy, Heavenly Father, dear Lord. For you, Lord, and we just ask, God, that you
Mm.
we ask now, Lord, that you give us traveling grace home.
Do, Lord. Amen. I know I got to stay till I sign.
Rock and roll.